Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Why Did I Lose, the Prismata series, where I analyze your games and tell you why I think you lost. I'm still accepting submissions for this series until the end of March 2019. If you would like one of your games analyzed, send it to as a comment on the first video in this playlist, the one where I announce the series. Don't leave it here, I won't look at it. Okay, so this is our first game from a YouTube viewer, rather than a Redditor. So, I don't know, let's just get started here. I had to open the game briefly to see who's player one and also who lost, so I know a few things about what happened during the game, but I tried to pay minimal attention so that I could analyze the set with no biases, as always. Anyway, so if you guys would like to decide how you would play the game, now's a good time to pause the video and come up with a plan. Alright, welcome back. What's the deal here? Like, there are a lot of impactful units, I guess I would say. Like, there's some big attackers in, like, I mean, kind of a lot of these things are like, Sinestra is a very large attacker, right? A Asteri Cannon, I'm not really clear on whether that's a larger attacker or a smaller attacker than Sinestra. But, you know, they're both clearly pretty serious. Bombarder exerts a large influence on sets, kind of... I mean, it's a big Rhino, but it's also kind of a big Grimbotch, right? It tends to lead to aggression early, sort of tailing off into like, oh, we both have a bunch of health and we're over-teched and under-droned and we have so much defense that the attack we have is insignificant, but, you know. Hannibal is kind of like, you know, sort of the same thing in a way. It's good as a first attacker, and it's also good as like a 20th attacker, but in the middle it's not so great. I mean, not 20th, right? 15th or 10th or whatever. Because you can actually get full soak value with it when everyone has a bunch of attack. Ice Blades kind of exist. I have a little bit of trouble seeing how they're gonna beat Hannibals. Not Hannibals. Bombarders. I mean, they'll have trouble with Hannibals too, right? Bombarders leave you a ton of soak lying around and also have this threatening attack of like 3 damage, right? Each Bombarder that you buy deals 6 damage over its lifetime and then has 4 health. And so like it can kill an Ice Blade and then have 4 health left over. And it just costs 1 and a blue more. So you'd like to be on the Bombarder's side of that trade. But perhaps the Ice Blades can put on so much pressure that you, the Bombarders, don't get there. I don't know. There's like, you know, Doomed Mech is big soak also in a way, right? I mean, not in a way, like that's kind of what it does. And Fibroid and Nitro are also like red soak. Kind of small soak. But it's nice to have like soak in a lot of colors in a lot of different sizes, because it means you can kind of defend whatever you need to quite flexibly. So blue-red kind of looks obvious because there's good pairings here for that, but you'd also be thrilled to have green, just if nothing else for Fibroid. And, you know, if you can get even one Sinestra with that green and then switch to like Fibroids and Cybes, it's probably worth it. But, of course, Sinestras are quite vulnerable to the sort of breachy Ice Blade stuff. I guess Ice Blades are also really, like, if you can get 3 of them, the enemy Doomed Mechs are way worse because they can't get full defense value when they're on 1 lifespan. You have to either hold them early, giving up 2 damage, or not hold them back, giving up like 5 soak in exchange for 2 damage. So neither of those is great, but it's also hard to keep 3 Ice Blades alive at a time, probably. So, I don't know. There's all that said, I think I'd like to go 3rd Engineer, I think. I mean, everything here Actually, kind of wants to be third engineer. Right. Maybe not Hannibal, maybe. But even Ice Blades, if you want to like rush out Ice Blades, you tend to want to get to 14 drones, and you can do that faster with 3 engineers. And I kind of think that like bombarders are going to be pretty great, but yeah, and it's kind of hard to like get all the tech for bombarders while also picking up green typically. So I guess the idea is probably to get into BBA and then you have Bombarder or Ice Blade as 2 threats. We'll see what Masterlock comes up with. Okay. This is not a totally ridiculous Sinestra line. Can I squeeze in a conduit here? I'm pretty sure I can. Well, what if next? Yeah, I don't think I want the green against this. I need to be prepared a little bit faster. And the notion of like getting fibroids or Sinestras is just not that amazing. On the other hand, opponent doesn't really have anything to punish a Hannibal, and so I could do this and then just get a single blue and red into like Hannibals to defend while I get ready for bombers. Yeah, I think that's probably fine. I don't know, maybe Sinestras and fibroids are enough to punish a Hannibal, but I think I'm sort of okay with that. Masterot might even buy fibroids here, which would be quite a mistake. So we need a wall next turn. An opponent will be buying a Sinestra as well, and then floating the blue. Yuck. Okay, so they'll be threatening 5. So a wall does defend. But it'd be kind of nice to do this, wouldn't it? I could get like a Hannibal and a wall. Maybe the Hannibal's just too greedy, though. Opponent's going to be kind of positioned to deal with it reasonably well, I think. I could do like this, get like a fibroid and a nitro in a wall or something. This lets me drone a bit more to get the second forge online sooner. Well, not sooner, but have more stuff once I do that. This seems alright. So if I buy a Hannibal, then opponent will be attacking it for like exactly 7, which is a pretty big bummer, right? So that's why I don't really want to do that. I could get Ice Blades? I don't know. I don't think I'm playing this one so well. But I kind of like just buying these fibroids as, like, soak with threat. Actually, it's kind of a bummer right now because this Bombarder sort of wants to attack. But it also, like, kind of wants to defend, right? You don't want your first attacker to be a Bombarder, typically. So I feel like I need to get some kind of other attacker in order to make this whole thing work. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. Like, I could get a fibroid and then not soak with it and swing with the Bombarder, and I'm like... This way I'm threatening 6, which is actually quite a bit, and then maybe I don't realize that threat. You know, that would be sort of okay, right? Pick up 2 Ice Blades next turn or something, and they're my attackers. While I hold back a Bombarder. Okay, well, Ice Blades are not looking so hot against Hannibal, but good news. all I need to kill a Hannibal is a Bombarder. Like, I'm thrilled about that, right? And the Nitro, obviously. I mean, it's going to be a little... Oh, whoops. A little tough to defend while I get through all this stuff. I'm actually surprised this worked out so perfectly. I didn't really plan this. I should have. I don't like clicking 2 Bombarders to just kill wall NG, but... Well, I shouldn't do it then, right? This way, it's a little bit more awkward to defend, but it's not the end of the world. I can grab another Bombarder. I could even get a Hannibal. That seems pretty greedy. Instead of holding a drone, I could get a Fibroid. I don't think I really want to do that, though. Okay, and I think I've now got this game under control. Wall, Fibroid, more bombers, NG. Just keep holding 1 Bombarder. Wall, Fibroid, Bombarder. Probably NGs is still fine. And my sort of limitless supply of soak is going to be the nail in the coffin for Masterbot here. I finally don't even need anything to defend. I don't know. Slam a Hannibal? 5, 7. Hannibal's pretty bad right now. Ice Blade? Sure. Like... threatens to freeze a force field, which is going to make him pretty uncomfortable. Actually, this was a bad turn for an Ice Blade, because I have my Doomed Mech expiring. It doesn't really matter, right? I have 1, right? But I think this was the wrong idea. Oh, but whatever. It did let me breach for a Sinestra, so like, how bad could it really be? He's gonna resign next turn, so I'll just buy anything. No! I thought I knew you better than this, Masterbot. Really seems like you should resign here. Let's continue just buying anything. Oh, click this? Sure. There we go. Alright, so that's like what seems like a sort of plausible line. But it was sort of a line tailored to beating an opponent who wasn't really trying, so we'll see. Okay, so in this game, I guess I didn't mention the username of the player submitting the replay. I guess I couldn't leave you in suspense, right? Because you saw I was player 1, so you know we must be DrabEmordnilap here. Palindrome Bard. And we were playing against Shadourow. So, what happened? So far, so good, huh? A mirror. Wow! Okay. Did I get a conduit here? I did, right? Yeah. Mirroring all the way. This is a better line than Masterbot's. Grabbing... Didn't Masterbot grab a, like, Tarsier Immolite... Not Immolite. Nitrocide Forge or something like that? I think so. Okay. So... I mean, it's not exactly the same position I was in, but... Right, opponent was attacking a bit more. But I don't know about these Tarsiers. I feel like, as the higher econ player, your job is to get to a position where defense is easy enough for you that you can build attackers without any trouble. And these Tarsiers, like, you need to build attackers eventually, obviously. And maybe you're dreaming of these, like, syncing up with a Sinestra, and that's pretty cool. But I think you have enough econ and enough better defensive tech that this is sort of playing towards the wrong goal. Right, your opponent's not going to have trouble with 2 attack. Your opponent's not even really going to have trouble with 5 attack, right? Even if you do land a Sinestra, which seems a little doubtful to me. I haven't, like, worked out the details, but it doesn't seem very likely that you can actually buy a Sinestra this coming turn and, like, still defend. But maybe you can, like, you lose all these, and then opponent's gonna, I don't know, maybe they have trouble adding enough attack. Maybe just wall, Sinestra will land. But even, let's say you can do that, right? You're getting Tarsiers, Sinestras, and walls. That's your build. And I think that that's not getting any of the stuff that makes this set high econ, that makes you want to have gone 3rd NG, right? You're sort of just like, well, I want Sinestras and walls. I'm like, that's fine, I guess, but there's not enough justification. Like, if you want Sinestra as your, like, main thing, there's not enough. There's not really a justification for delaying it long enough to get blue stuff as well. You might as well just get red and accept the worst absorb you're going to get. You'll have Fibroid, you know, it'll be okay. If you're going to go for the high econ, you need more of it to give you access to this big blue stuff to make soak really easy so you can churn out a large number of attackers in comfort. I think this is the ticket to getting a small number of attackers and better defense than your opponent, but your opponent will be just so far ahead in attack. Okay, so opponent doesn't really add anymore, and we do indeed get Sinestra Tarsier just like we dreamed, and we even get a side. Great. But meanwhile, opponent's just been, like, adding on more attackers and grabbed a wall. So we're down, like, 3 attack, and opponent has Tarsiers on the way. And, you know, what are we up? Like 3 drones? It doesn't seem that convincing, right? We're up blue, I guess. But it seems like opponent just went for the better stuff first. Yeah, I agree. You want to lose the Fibroid, I think. You know, getting a Bombarder is pretty cool here when you're already at 5 attack. Seems nice. But it's just so hard to click it, isn't it? Like, what's this Bombarder actually doing? Opponent's able to just keep building Fibroids and walls for soak and adding 1 Tarsier per turn. And we're kind of stuck on, like, 5 attack. Which is what I said would happen, right? I mean, we're getting, I guess, 8. I don't know. Maybe this isn't going as badly as I thought it would, but we're actually now only up 2 drones. Opponent has 12 permanent attack, and we have 5. We have these Bombarders. But even if we took 4 health for free out of them, right? Then we're at, like, 9 attack versus 12. And even if we imagined that, like, we could attack with them for 3 as well as soak with them for 4, it's still, like, only a tie, and that's a very, very optimistic judging of the Bombarder, right? So I feel like we're quite far behind here. Even though opponents like having to hold drones, it doesn't actually look that great for us. Because we're not really attacking for everything. I think opponent could plausibly have clicked one of these drones, honestly. Maybe even two. And said, look, there's just no way. Like, on this turn, right? The attack for 14 kills at least 2 attack. So, opponent's attacking for at most 15. And Shadourow knew that, and that's why he held only 2 drones instead of 4. But can you really even attack for 14? Like, you have to absorb on Bombarder, fine. And then click both Bombarders and all 3 Nitros. And then the only defense you're going to have is 1 Engineer, right? That will be your entire defense. You'll be killing the Rhino, so you'll only have to deal with 10, 13 damage. You can even reach for a Tarsier, so that's 12. But what you have is an Engineer, and you have to defend your Sinestra and stuff, right? So come up with 12, 11 more defense. 2 walls, okay. You're at 7. You still need 5 more to avoid a counter breach. Force field, Rhino. That's not enough to defend, and you don't even have that much money, right? So you're clearly holding a lot of drones. I don't know that that's really going to be worth it. And that's why I think that Shadourow could have clicked at least one of these drones to sneak in a Nitro. And that, if you click only one drone, opponent can't even breach for a Tarsier. They can only breach for Exact, and I just don't think that's possible. I think you could click 2, but maybe that's too bold. Maybe you're just a little scared and you think you'll win as long as you don't do anything stupid. I don't know. Maybe that's a justification for holding both of them, as you say, look, I'm up 13 permanent attack to 5. Like, do I really need to be making gambits here? Fair point, I guess. But I think this is a gambit you could make and squeeze out an extra Nitrocide for just $1, which seems worthwhile to me. And now we're sort of losing all of our stuff. We're not able to buy any more bombers. And we're attacking for 5 while opponent attacks for 16, right? So I think this was the first turn I disagreed with, because it's the first turn that wasn't exactly what I did in the Masterbot game, right? And again, like, the Masterbot game is like not always a perfect predictor of what you should do, because your opponent will be doing different things. But I do think that, like, the Tarsiers are just so greedy. Why do it, right? Your job is to econ up. I don't know if you can afford 3 drones. Maybe that's giving the opponent too much room. You know, maybe you get a Tarsier. I don't know. Still seems pretty greedy to me. But that way your Bombarders are going to feel a little less awkward when they arrive. And already you make your opponent like, they don't really want to let you kill both NGs, but they suspect you'll actually attack for 0, right? So I don't know, they probably get a Fibroid here and another Tarsier. And they get this Forge for your 1 Tarsier that's arriving. Maybe, something like that. I don't know, maybe this Tarsier, like, kind of stinks, doesn't he? He's not really attacking for much anytime soon. I don't know. But it makes opponent's life a little bit awkward. He has to be spending his green, or his, like, he has to be spending something on defense, or else allow you to attack and not be absorbed, right? And he might prefer not to be defending at all. Usually, you know, players would prefer not to have to build a defender. I mean, always, right? So, yeah, these Fibroids are Soak that is threatening the red player a little bit, and the Tarsier, likewise, is just sort of making their build just that tiny bit more inconvenient. But 2 Tarsiers is not really making things any less convenient than 1 would, which is why I think that you should be getting Fibroids and Cybes instead of lots of Tarsiers. And the Sinestra, I think, was just too ambitious on the economy size that we had. You can get it eventually, maybe, but your priority is setting up all this blue stuff. Whose turn? It's Shadowrow's turn, so I don't know. You get another Fibroid here. Maybe? Maybe you just get a wall? Maybe you Fibroid to Gambit against the Tarsier and say, okay, you know, you wanna fight, bro? Here's my Hannibal. Now all of your threat no longer matters to me. And it's sort of challenging us to come up to 7 attack all at once. Which, 1, 2... I guess Bombarder Fibroid does get there, so this Hannibal's probably bad. But can we buy Bombarder Fibroid? Kind of. Two, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So the Hannibal's probably not that great. But, I mean, this means we have to absorb on Fibroid to do this? This is brutal, right? Wait a minute. Oh my god. Q made me keep Fibroid. It's always tricking me. Okay, that's a lot better, actually. Now we can get, like, Bombarder, Fibroid, Force Field. And we still have to absorb on Fibroid, but at least we don't have to hold drones for it. So, okay. I mean, I think this is maybe not so great for Shadowrow. I think this Hannibal is not really working out all that well. But I think we should click this so that opponent has to absorb on Fibroid to get the attack, and they will, but... yeah. I think the Hannibal was probably a mistake. But I guess we'll follow it a little bit longer because, you know, it's going to be still kind of hard to attack with everything. What can Shadowrow do to make it even more awkward for us? Splitter? Ice Blade? That just makes it easy for us to attack for 6 again. Fibroid's probably not so great. Try to get another Sinestra in. Well, if we're gonna do that, I think we should put down another Hannibal so that it's easy to defend the Sinestra. Even though we're not getting great value out of the Hannibals, it's something. And then we can Sinestra wall or something. Although, with a Hannibal down, we don't really need the wall, right? But okay, like this would be plausible. Now we have 4 attack, we need to find 3 more, right? Fibroid. Hannibal? Ooh. Still pretty scary. I don't think this is... I don't know who this is really favoring. Floating the blue stinks. I could get a wall. Actually, let's get a Rhino. Yeah, sure. He absorbs if opponent attacks for everything, which of course they won't. But it attacks as well a little faster than a drone would, or than a Tarsier would. Hannibals are starting to be good now, right? With opponent attacking for 6, 9. Yeah, Hannibals are getting full value. And we can finally like follow on with a Bombarder and a Darcier. So like now we've kind of used Hannibal's to get into the position of actually being able to defend and buy the units we wanted, right? Well, hold the Rhino. He's not doing anything this turn. Two, 5, 6. Yeah, so Hannibal's not very good right now, but we could squeeze in another Sinestra. Oh, that's very good. Very juicy stuff. Floating blue again. But, yeah, okay. Well, so I said some nice things about how we had used the Hannibals to get to the point where we could buy the stuff we wanted this set. Which is, like, sort of true, but we're still in, like, pretty sad shape, right? Opponent's third Sinestra is just really demoralizing. I don't think we have enough Bombarders to combat this. Although, like, it's a little hard for opponent to defend, isn't it? Maybe? Maybe not. Yeah, one more Fibroid? Sure. Yikes. Yeah, and once again, this does not seem to be working out very well. Even though I thought that Hannibal for Shadourow was not very good, it actually seems to have worked out just fine. And we're up like 3 drones, but down like 10 damage. Something outrageous like that. Right, we have 3 permanent damage and opponent has 14. We have a little bit better time with our Bombarders. But opponent is not even like having any trouble defending and just piles on a 4th Sinestra just to say like F you, buddy. And we're toast here. Alright. So just that mild slowdown here didn't really seem to help much, right? Getting the 1 Tarsier. You know, we could try a more serious slowdown like this. Since what we really want is like to use the red stuff as soak. And then maybe someday we can buy like some attackers with it. But it's not really top priority, right? I guess I should have made Shadourow get a wall or a forge sooner maybe. But I don't know, this seems to be working out fine. Just add 1 Tarsier per turn. Defend the threat with Fibroids. I don't know. Seems alright. Now we get our first Bombarder. But it can't really attack, right? Which is kind of a bummer. Or not usefully. But it threatens to attack, right? Like we're threatening 6 damage next turn. 7 unless opponent clicks Nitro. So these two are kind of in a standoff, but like 6 attack against 2 NGs is kind of inconvenient. I guess opponent will just build wall Fibroid and be kind of fine. I don't know. We're gonna have trouble actually getting an attacker, I guess is the problem. But look, we made it hard for opponent to get that second Sinestra, so there's that. But we're still not really attacking, and we're down 10 damage. More, really. Yeah, maybe the Bombarder was the wrong idea, actually. Like, Bombarders are cool, But if you're not going to attack with them, you might as well get a Doomed Mech. And then you'll have something to swing with later, and you won't like feel bad about having held it back a turn. It's not as bad anyway. Then you can add a Bombarder and like try to swing with both of these at the same time next turn. And like a Hannibal as well, maybe? It's a little bit much. But it's a way to start getting some damage out there. And also the soak that we want. And like start applying pressure this way. Actually, I'd really like, if I could, another Hannibal. Hang on, I need to hold something back to absorb on, right? Well, maybe I shouldn't do that, and I should buy an absorber, even if it's just a wall. Because opponents like attacking for at least 9, yeah, so we'll be fine with this wall. Which means I don't need the force field. I could get, say, a Tarsier even. A little greedy, but we could try it. Maybe a Fibroid might be better. Something like this, I don't know. And we're suddenly making like a big threat. Like, it's not permanent attack exactly, but it's a lot of threat. Opponent is sort of uncomfortable dealing with it. And maybe they do this to try to get their bombarders going or something. I don't know. Maybe they even do this to try to make sure they can get the bombarders in. But it's still not so easy, is it? Something like this. I don't actually know which one of us wants soak and which one of us wants damage. We'll see. Maybe try to slam in this Gauss Cannon as well, like ultimate greed mode? Maybe not. This is the turn when the Doomed Mech is going to want to be held back, and so I might consider not attacking at all. And in which case adding the Gauss Cannon is rather foolish. I don't know. I guess we're not really getting any permanent attack is the problem with this. We haven't really forced the opponent to make any serious concessions. Have we? No, they're not clicking their bomber. I think it might be worth actually holding everything, which means maybe I shouldn't have gotten the Bombarder. Yeah. Maybe instead of the Bombarder, I should be getting, like a Hannibal. And a Splitter or something. And now I can sort of in good conscience cash in another Bombarder while still defending with this Doomed Mech, right? On the other hand, opponents attacking for... They might attack for only 9? In which case, my Doomed Mech Hannibal are not really getting great value. So maybe the Hannibal is the wrong idea. And just get, like, Tarsiers and another Doomed Mech? Single Tarsier and another Doomed Mech? Opponent has a little bit of trouble still to click the Bombardier, but I think they can manage it. This kills at least one attack, right? Yeah, so... Drone's probably pretty greedy. Just get energy. Now we're still attacking, so Bombardiers are still good. And a Hannibal's still good too. But opponents got their own Bombardier train online, so we really need a pretty good reason to think we're ahead, which I don't immediately see. Honestly, opponent could maybe... No, Gauss Cannon's illegal. That's why they shouldn't buy it. I mean, these Hannibals are pretty fun, but they're sort of just delaying the inevitable, aren't they? We're not really doing that much damage to opponent. And we are coming under quite a lot of fire here. But it does seem like it's coming out better than the real game did, right? Like, we've built up an amount of attack that makes them feel a little bit bad. And we're able to start adding more. It's hard, but, you know, it's working. Do I need this wall, by the way? The Rhino sort of gambits against the threat of them attacking with everything. I could maybe even do this and get a splitter instead. They probably don't want to attack with everything. And likewise, there's no way I'm attacking with everything, so they can gambit here. Attack for nothing, huh? Maybe this Bombardier was the wrong idea. Since I have sort of like 6 real attack anyway. Grab another Doomed Mech. Ice Blade? I don't know about that. Well, I still have a little bit of extra attack, but... yeah? Oh my god. I can buy Sinestra Bomber in the same turn. The wall is a little silly since we don't need it right now, but I think we will need it soon. It almost lets me click this, but it doesn't actually. And this Bombarder is just doing 1 damage, it's just killing 1 NG, so maybe it's not so great. I should do this. That still kills nothing. Very funny. So I guess we hold it for the absorb and try to make this Sinestra somehow be how we win. Doesn't seem like it's happening. In fact, the opponent just responds with their own second Sinestra. And having to come up with 23 defense like this is pretty rough. Yeah. This doesn't exactly look winning. Right? We can't come up with 13 defense anymore. We've blown through all of the soak that we had access to. Pretty much. So, I don't know. This like, is not a winning line, but I feel like it's a better embodiment of the plan that you had on turn 2 when you got 3rd Engineer. Right? Is saying, I want to be the big econ player. I want to get bombarders and stuff. If you instead like grab some Tarsiers early, you kind of find yourself stuck with 5 attack. Remember, that's what I predicted, right? I'm pretty sure I said, oh look, you can get like 5 attack and you'll never get any more. And, you know, we got some bombarders, but they weren't putting on, like, it wasn't real damage. All opponent had to do was live through it and keep adding attack. And that wasn't too hard. So it seems like my original read of the set was probably incorrect in, like, saying that the blue-red stuff is the main thing here. It seems like Sinestra is just so efficient that if you let your opponent be the one to get one, you're in bad shape. I still feel like Bombarder should somehow put more pressure on a Sinestra, but Fibroid is a pretty... I mean, and Nitrozyme are both pretty good combos with Sinestra, because what Sinestra wants is cheap red soak, right? Red-green soak would be even better. And the blue player has some good tools, but nothing like fast, right? Bombarder is a bit fast, but it very quickly slows down once you start using them for soak. And you kind of don't want them to be your first attacker because you're getting very little attack value out of them. I don't know, I guess that's true of any attacker, right? Whatever attacker you get first is kind of going to be bad. So maybe just like using Bombarder to force out a wall and then accepting that you get minimal damage out of it, but then you get some soak. Maybe that's the approach to take with Bombarders here. But still, like, you just need to do things faster than that to get the Sinestra player to back off. And the only fast stuff here, I don't know, so maybe Ice Blade was the way to go, actually, as a Sinestra counter. Like, I talked about that some. Like, once your opponent commits to this, you don't get the Conduit, let's say. Let's say you even grab the Forge now, because you're planning to get it eventually, and who knows, maybe you'll want to spend some blue next turn. Opponent does this, sure. You grab a Splitter to poke them, maybe, although you kind of want BA this turn. So maybe this. And they get the Sinestra. And a side. And you say, I'm coming for you. And they're immediately, like, on the back foot, in a way, right? And we get to choose, like, which... It doesn't really matter. They're just going to lose 1 NG and then something. So it doesn't really matter what we attack with. Opponent kind of can't kill an Ice Blade this turn, because if they do, we get Wall Absorb. And if they don't kill an Ice Blade, they get to kill a lot of stuff. But in the meantime, we'll have added... Oh, actually, hang on. I can do this. I forgot about that. I forgot I can freeze both of them. I was like, I have 2 freeze. But no, I have 2 freeze twice. So, okay. We get to kill an extra NG for free. And... this is like a problem, isn't it? For opponent? Like, is this even defended? No. This is. I mean, it's defended enough that the Sinestra lives, but they get through for a Tarsier, right? And you say, oh, Ice Blades. I love Ice Blades. Maybe we even shouldn't have gotten the enemy, in fact. So we could float to get more Ice Blades, in case, you know, of whatever. In case they reach for drones, we can still buy 2 Ice Blades this way. We get in for a Tarsier. And we buy 2 more Ice Blades. So I'm not saying this is like exactly what opponent would do against this. Maybe they would breach the Animus or something. But, you know, doing that is not really all that productive usually. Yeah, I think Ice Blades were the right response to this red-green thing. 6 Ice Blades is just going to be too much for opponent to deal with. Like we can breach for like 6 this way. It's horrible, right? Opponent wouldn't defend this way, but like that's a way they might try to defend and it doesn't work. So, you know, you might say, well, you said it would be bad for them to kill Ice Blades, but look how bad it was for them not to. What if they do this instead? Okay. But like... we're still in pretty amazing shape here, I think. No, you can't get drones. Right, we're sort of escalating faster than opponent is. I want to freeze the wall, I think. Right? Is there some universe in which I might do this? No. We're only attacking for 3. So if I don't freeze the wall, I have to freeze these 2. Make opponent lose one of these 2, and I get to pick which one. It doesn't really seem that worth it compared to making them lose like NG side, basically. Or, yeah, I can stop them from losing Fibroid and make them lose NG side instead. I'm not sure if that's what I want to do. This way, it's still pretty easy for them to get to 8, so it doesn't seem very productive, so... I guess if I do this, they can choose to lose Nitro NG instead. Whereas if I do this... sorry. They kind of have to lose Fibroid or Rhino, which I think is what I would prefer. No, these are kind of like excess attackers for them. I don't want to let them lose one of them. I want to make sure everything sticks around. Because they don't really want to attack for more than like 7, right? Anyway, we just pile on more of these guys, and if breaching wasn't a good idea for them last turn, it's not going to be that great now, right? Floating 2 is enough to guarantee 2 more Ice Blades. Even if they breach for everything. So... you don't normally get to see units in front of the Chills picture. That only happened because I said go back to beginning of turn, right? I'll look into that sometime. Anyway, so breaching, like, for this stuff is not really that great for them, right? The problem is just getting worse, not better. So they might say, alright, well, let's keep killing those Ice Blades. Eventually we'll win. But no, this is still getting worse, right? Yeah. So I think that was the right idea, is to say to opponent, oh, you want a bunch of Sinestras, huh? Well, you know what Sinestras hate? Getting breached. So I'm going to just buy Ice Blades. And then I think you would be in good shape. I think this is a winning position. I'm not that good at Ice Blades, either defending against them or buying them. So I could be wrong here. You know, misplaying for one of the players. But I think that this is the kind of threat that's very hard for a Sinestra player to deal with. Yeah, by the way, so like, no, look, normally this stuff is all covered up, wall and vibro. You can't see them. But if you go back after defending, they show. Mistake. Is that true in in just replays instead of analysis mode? Oh, well, I don't know, because there was no freeze in the actual game. Okay, well, we'll never know. Try it out on yourselves, on your own, and report back, I guess. Anyway, that'll do it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.